Hello families, if you're receiving this video, it's because your child needs a little bit of extra practice working with numbers. I'd like to show you some materials that we have put together for you to use at home to help with that. The first thing is for number trace. We've made a little flip chart like this for you. It has each of the numbers from 1 to 10. And there's a number point at the bottom, and the way your child should do it is put their finger on the dot at the top of the number, and as they trace the number to say the poem, like this one, just straight down, then you're done. That's how we write a 1. On the side there's a representation of what 1 looks like with fingers and a dot cube. Here's another one, 2. Around and back on the railroad track. That's how we write a 2, 2, 2. And you would go just like that all the way through numbers to 10, especially focusing on the ones that your child is having difficulty recognizing, or even with how to write that number, remembering what it looks like. Also in your packet is a set of bear cards like this that have the numbers on them, and your child can use these to practice putting them in order from 1 to 10. So they're practicing counting 1 to 1 as they're counting the bears, and also putting them in the correct numerical order. There's a number fluency chart that looks like this. Well, you can set a timer for a minute and see how many they can name in a minute. This has the numbers 0 through 10 in random order. So they would put their finger, we tell them to use their tracker to keep track of where they are. 2, 5, 7, 3, 9, 8, 2, 1, 4, 6. They don't have to do the whole page at one time, just as many as they can in the amount of time that you give them, and they can practice this over and over at different times of the day. None of these activities are things that have to all happen at one time, just when you get a few minutes. These are all things that you can use to help them practice. Here's another thing on the back, the counting game. It says put your playing piece anywhere on the path. You can use anything for a playing piece. Move around the board using a die. When you land on a space, count the fingers on the hands. Find the number on your bingo board and cover or dot it. When you get 5 in a row, the game is over. Have fun. So in your bag, there's a bag that goes with it. So we have a dot cube for you and some counters that you can use to cover up the numbers once they find them. You have one more task in your bag. There's a bag of cards that looks like this. So you can use these cards like a concentration game. On the cards there are numbers. There are representation of that same number on a 10 frame. And so just like you play a concentration or memory game, they flip over the cards and they try to find 2 that match. Like here's the number 7, and then here's 7 on a 10 frame. We show them to count them from top to bottom and left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so those are the activities that are in your pouch. They'll be in a little pouch like this, so you can keep track of your things for practicing for math. I wanted to show you one more thing that you can do with these. Everyone already has a dry erase marker at home, so you could also have them use their dry erase marker to practice writing the number. They could trace it on the front. They could even turn over and write it on the back of the card. You can call out that same number that they just practiced on the front, or just call them out in a random order for them to practice. I hope that these activities and materials will help your child learn their numbers from 0 to 10. Don't forget also to help practice with counting, oral counting, and being careful with those tricky, especially those tricky teen numbers. In the classroom right now, we're working on counting to 30. By the end of the 9 weeks, we'll be counting to 50 and to 100 by the end of the year. So anytime that you can practice counting, that would be a big help also. Thank you, enjoy, and have fun.